Yes, Pika, I'm going to read the show notes. It's really fussy these days. Wow. It just shocked me. Hi, welcome back to the Comics Coffee Table. We're here, you've made it. It's time for our break, where we take a break. We take our minds off our minds. We leave the real world's problems over there. We come to our very own Comics Coffee Table, and we take a break together. Grab a cuppa, whatever it is you're shoving under your nose today. Today I've got agua. Would you like a cool, delicious drink of water? Yes, I would. Wet my whistle. Got some talking to do. Bee water, my friend. Bruce Lee. That's what he said. I like Bruce Lee. He's one of my heroes. Thank you once again. It's 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily when this show premieres. If you're here for the premiere, check out the live chat premiere. It's always hopping. It's a great source of comic book shop-style conversations. That's the kind we wish to replicate here with each other now. You know, and also you can keep the conversation going in the comments section at any time. So, yeah, just, check us out. And if you're new to the show, there's a lot of new viewers out there. Please hit that subscribe button. We're trying to grow our channel. We just broke over 1,000 subscribers. We're on our way to being to partnership and beyond. Stuff like that. And thank you so much for being one of the most important parts of this show. You are the most important ingredient of our recipe. This comic book style conversation that we have every day. We take joy in our hobby and we express it and we share it. We remember good stuff and we talk about the good things and we keep the good vibes going. We do. Is he combing his beard? Yeah. I mean, Pico was supposed to do this before the show. Make sure, get your eyebrows. Yep. Howdy! If you're new to the show, then I start the show with the standard opening. I talk about what the show is about. I'm using my platform for my agenda to amplify my messaging and to be an activist. Or I'm also an ordained minister, so this is my evangelism. I am saying to you from the pulpit, get thine ass to thy local comic book shop and spend thy money there. You don't need to put your money into the collection bins and the collection trays here or tithe. Go spend your money at the local comic book shop. I am rebagging, reboarding, reboxing my entire comic book collection. I need supplies. Chances are you might as well. Where are you getting your supplies? I am making the conscious choice not to use my online supply chain. The one with the built-in movie channel and the free shipping. And it would be a lot cheaper. There's always some kind of deal on the online supply chain. But I am making the conscious choice to pay the retail markup at my brick and mortar mom and pop shop because it's a local business. And these local businesses need our patronage, and it feels good to spend your money, on thriving local businesses, not big boxes, not online, but it's real people really making that American dream of owning your own business, and for our local businesses to have made it out of lockdown 2020. They need our support now. They need our patronage more than ever. So I am spending the retail markup there. I'm buying short boxes there. I'm also getting. No, pick that up correctly, or it's gonna disintegrate. No disintegrations. I think you could hear Boba Fett sigh. I think that was edited out. Empire Strikes Back. Star Wars was last week, silly. We're getting our polypropylene bags there. We could be getting. We need to get Mylars. Mylars are still. Yeah, I gotta ask. Put that on the PTS OTL. I need supplies. I do, And if it's a short, if it's a light week this week, then those are the days I buy supplies. I need like 3 short boxes. They're $8.99 a piece. I need another package of 100 acid-free, one-side coated boards. I'm almost out. And yeah, it's $15 a pack. And that's 27, and that's almost $50 right there in supplies. But it's important to me to spend my money at the bags and ask about Mylar. So they said it was coming in months ago, that it would be months, and it has been months. So now many moons later. Well, actually 3 or 4. Would that be many moons? And can we still say stuff like that? I do. Oh my goodness. But really, yeah, so I'm buying my supplies at my local comic book shop, and that's what I advise for you to do too. Because when these stores are gone, they're going to be gone. Kind of like record stores or mall toy stores. You know, what happened to those? Well, what do you think happened? Times changed. Media changed. Medium changed. What did music go from like compact discs and LP and vinyl records to online and downloading? Yeah. What does the future have for floppies? Our friend the floppy. Yeah, so this is we're also, while we're reboarding, rebagging, and reboxing my entire collection, I got these 2 books. These were given to me by my parents last year for Christmas. So this year is dedicated to my parents. I love you. Thank you so much. My mom and my stepdad, Hoppy Poppy, I like to call him. And yeah, there are links in the description to their to the Amazon pages for these 2. You can get your own copies and play along at home. These are the Overstreet guides. These are industry standards. And it's a great way for me to express some love for my lifelong hobby, is getting a bit more knowledgeable about this end of the hobby. I'm not a speculator. I'm not really I'm not in it for the money but I find it fascinating. I'm really into learning more about it, especially grading comics. The 10-point standard grading scale. I mean, there's a lot to it, and I'm seeing my collection with new eyes through this lens, and it's been very rewarding, and I'm glad you're here for it. So if you have any legitimate concerns or questions about the condition or value of your floppies or your funny books, bring them to your local comic book shop and ask the owner or the staff. They should be able to grade them or to give you a grade, and you can also, get a second opinion at another shop and be like, hey, maybe, I don't know. I'm just, I'm just saying. As my friend the memes of destruction says, we conjecture ahead. Exactly. Yeah. So we were talking. Yesterday was new release day, so our conversation about Marvel's Civil War got interrupted. Conversation interruptus. Yes. And we are... so let's get to it. We were talking about what we do with old bags. We are going to crumple them up and put them in one bag and just let it fill up, because don't throw them on the floor. You will see. Chances are you'll slip and fall like I did. Trying to save you from that fate. Listen to your friend Sully. He knows what he's talking about. But yeah, it's so many dings. This could have been worth a lot more, but it's also it's done its job. It's well loved. It's well read. It's a good story with great art by Steve McNiven and Dexter Vines. I mean, it's one piece of tape. I'm not using the resealable thing. I don't know. I just got them to get them because I never used them before. So now I've got them. Now I've experienced the difference. Viva la différence. Here we go. See, bags, boards. That flopping that you hear, that's books falling over. And that's how we get a lot of spine roll, because the books fall over unless it's completely packed in there. Momentum and gravity will have their way on objects in the material world. I said that. You can quote me. That just happened. That just happened. And here we go. So we did first 3 issues of my edit of Civil War. I started off with Avengers Annual number 1, New Avengers Annual number 1, the wedding of Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, and the prelude to Civil War. It sets up, Peter Parker and Tony Stark's wonderful working relationship as adults, genius to genius level. Tony gifts Peter with the Iron Spider suit, which was really interesting. And but Peter chooses Tony's side because of that when the schism happens in Civil War. We're going to read this from, you guessed it, the Wiki! It's the Superhero Registration Act. Dun, 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 dun. Interest in the concept of the Superhero Registration Act was revived in various Marvel comic books in 2006. In New Avengers Special, The Illuminati, May of 2006, following the events of Decimation and the sudden dramatic fall in the mutant population, the U.S. government again considers a Superhero Registration Act, and Iron Man attempts to persuade his Illuminati colleagues to support the SRA, the Superhero Registration Act. It's something that Tony believes in. What is the Illuminati? The Illuminati are a fictional secret society of superheroes appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics. The characters join forces and secretly work behind the scenes. The Illuminati are Tony Stark, Charles Xavier, Namor of Atlantis, Reed Richards, Dr. Stephen Strange, and the Black Bolt of the Inhumans. The same Illuminati also thought it would be a good idea to send Hulk, Bruce Banner, their friend and teammate, off-planet to a paradise world where he can live life and not be a threat to human society. Little did they know that of course, the rocket malfunctioned, and he ended up on a war world, which became War World Hulk, Planet Hulk, and then he comes back to Earth to wreak havoc and revenge upon his friends. So that's what the Illuminati did as well. So Iron Man attempts to persuade his Illuminati colleagues to support the SRA in order to defuse it. Iron Man predicts that some superhumans or a group of superhumans will eventually make a mistake that will cost hundreds of lives. He specifically mentions the Young Avengers and the Runaways as candidates for causing such a catastrophe. After such an event, he went on to predict the government would inevitably rush to make an example of someone or everyone in the superhero community by passing legislation that would be even more restrictive or persecutory towards them than the proposed Superhuman Registration Act. By supporting the SRA before it is passed, he suggests he and his fellow Illuminati may be able to help avert such possible future tragedies, and also by becoming a part of the process, help moderate the legislation so that it would have the minimum possible negative effects on the superhero community. However, most of the Illuminati members, except for Reed Richards, who had spoken against similar proposition made 16 years before in the 1990 Superhuman Registration Act, flatly rejects Stark's proposal and leads to the disbandment of the group. In Amazing Spider-Man number 529 to 531, that's June 2006, Spidey and Iron Man traveled to Washington, D.C. to discuss the issue. In these issues, Iron Man is shown to be initially opposed to the idea, while Spidey is unsure of his prediction, and the first part of Iron Man's predictions are shown to be accurate when a conflict between the new warriors and a group of supervillains ends with a massive explosion which kills hundreds of people, including children attending a nearby school, as depicted in Civil War I here. And, yeah. That is the Superhero Registration Act. And this Spider-Man 533. And here's the trade dress that you would see for all the Civil War crossover issues. It was written by J. Michael Straczynski, art by Ron Garney. I think it might be inked by Bill Reinhold, and it picks up from the end of Civil War issue number 2, and this is just about Spider-Man revealing his private identity, his secret identity to the public, and to stand in solidarity with Tony. And things start getting stressful for Peter. And there he is, wearing Tony's colors in Tony's suit. And this gets adapted into what we know as the MCU version of Tony and Peter's relationship. There's even an MCU kind of version of the Iron Spider suit, and that comes about in Infinity War and Endgame. And we also see that in Spider-Man No Way Home. I got a 3-pack of those movies. I got Homecoming, Far From Home, and No Way Home on a nice affordable 3-pack Blu-ray set. And I never had seen... we don't want to do that yet. Because this one doesn't have a value. I don't think this has... But this is really fun for me. Here's the Civil War checklist. We've seen this before, but this is an issue of the Daily Bugle. This cost 50 cents, and it's a newsprint. And it opens. This is an issue. Yeah, this is just an issue of the Daily Bugle. Funny. This is great. And it has just articles written by, by the Bugle staff. And I think the only thing this is missing as a newspaper goes is a crossword games page with some funny strips. I think that would have been a nice, spin to it if you had some kind of, if this had a funny pages and maybe an obit or sports page, you know what I mean, to give it a bit more, real. I don't know. That's what they were going for, was an issue of Daily Bugle, but it was also it's for your checklist, and it was supplemental, and I'm glad to have that in my Civil War collection. I like that a lot. So yeah, you're gonna go in there. The Superhero Registration Act, introduced in Civil War, requires any person in the United States with superhuman abilities to register with the federal government as, quote, human weapons of mass destruction, reveal their true identity to the authorities, and undergo training. Those who register may work for S.H.I.E.L.D., earning a salary and benefits like other American civil servants. The characters within the superhero community in the Marvel Universe split into 2 groups. Whose side are you on? I love these covers, huh? Really nice covers. Characters within one advocating the registration as a responsible obligation, and the other opposing the law on the grounds that it violates civil liberties and the protection that secret identities provide. While arguing with Iron Man about the law, Luke Cage, an African-American man, compares the mandatory registration to slavery. And that's attributed to... that's lowbrow comics. No. The link goes nowhere, so I don't know how how to accept that. This is a wiki, so accept things prima facie. But I mean, I don't know. Did he really say that? A number of villains also choose one side or the other. Mark Miller, the writer for the story, has said, "I opted instead for making the superhero dilemma something a little different. People thought they were dangerous, but they did not want a ban. What they wanted was superheroes paid by the federal government like cops and open to the same kind of scrutiny. It was the perfect solution, and nobody, as far as I'm aware, had done this before." And there were delays and behind the scenes in the public. What was this? Here we go. After the publication of Civil War #7, Miller described the book to Newsarama as a story with a guy wrapped in the American flag is in chains as people swap freedom for security. Miller conceded a certain amount of political allegory, but its real focus was on the superheroes fighting each other, contrasting it with the Ultimates. Miller said Civil War was accidentally political because I just could not help myself. Indeed. And we have the info dump page, the Indicia Colophone, September of 2006. It's Civil War #3. Oh, the Michael Turner Aspen variant covers, man. Rest in peace, man. Yeah, this was like, this book made so much. It was money. This was so successful. And here we go. So there's like, now we're gonna start to fight. Boom. Great lettering in here too. Just, we got to remember that. Ooh, look at it. Boom. Oh. These are really good fight scenes, huh? We got to remember, Thor was dead at the time. So this is a new character, and we called him Clor for Clone Thor. And Clor was a cyborg-enhanced genetic copy of Thor Odinson. But let's look up Clor. Marvel's Clor. Ragnarok. Okay, he's also known as Ragnarok, huh? Okay, I didn't know that. Earth 616, isn't it? Let's see. Origin. The Probe registration. Okay, years ago when the Avengers first started, Iron Man found a strand of hair that had fallen off of Thor's head. Tony had kept the hair sample in a case that he might need it for later use. When the new Warriors attempted to gain ratings for their reality show by capturing a group of escaped supervillains, Nitro used his explosive power, which killed most of the new Warriors and children at a nearby school at a wide range. The government then proposed the Superhero Registration Act, and Stark created a clone of Thor from the Strand, where he fused the clone DNA with Stark Industries technology. He did this by working together with Mr. Fantastic and Hank Pym, who, unbeknownst to Stark, was actually a Skrull imposter. Creety Knoll. Ooh. And Clor ends up killing Bill Foster, a.k.a. Black Goliath. And now this is interesting. Reggie Hudlin. This is Black Panther, man. Look at this cover, too. I mean, at this time, Storm and Aurora are getting married. And they've invited everyone. And so Wakanda is kind of like neutral ground. like what? No, you didn't tell me he was coming. Exactly. Ain't that great? And yeah, this is perfectly fine. Oh, love scenes in comics. It happens all the time, huh? I'll put these two together. You're breaking up, sir. Sunspots. I hope you're having an awesome day. I hope you are clobbering your problems and not being clobbered by them. Here we go. Bag, board. Funny book. Funny book. On board. Welcome aboard. On board. You are on board. Alrighty, come on. You can do it. You got this. You got this. You got this too. Haha. One piece of tape. There we go. I do have an issue of Wolverine. All right. All right. And this has nothing to do with Civil War. It just shares the trade dress, and it's just meant to be funny. Because this was Next Wave, Agents of Hate, by Warren Ellis and Stuart Immonen. Yep. And goes to 7. People are on. By the end of this, someone takes a sniper shot at Aunt May. And this will come back to haunt us with One More Day. And then Omit, One Moment in Time, and all the... It wasn't J. Michael Straczynski's fault. It was literally Mark Millar's fault. Seriously. Like if you... For Sins Past, for the... Well, maybe, maybe for Sins Past. But for One More Day. And this was great because... This almost breaks up Sue and Reed's marriage. Because remember, Reed is pro Superhero Registration Act by this time. He's in cahoots with Tony. And Sue, on the other hand, is not. Sue sides literally against Reed. Sue sides with Cap. And it divides the Fantastic Four. So Sue and Johnny go with Cap. I'm not sure what happened to... Well, okay, it's J. Michael Straczynski's writing this. Art by Mike McCone is great. Inked by Andy Lanning. That's great. Previously, Fantastic Four. You have the Thing walking away from everyone, huh? That's great. The Thing, claiming a position of neutrality, has decided to leave the country, creating the first real schism in the team. And then... It's great art. Really cool. And Reed himself comes up with a really bad solution to a nagging problem. What to do with these captured people, friends and enemies. Whoops! See, don't do that. So here we go. Here we go. One piece of tape. Yeah. There's Clone Thor. He will also kill Bill Foster, aka Black Goliath. I like this cover. See how he's being he's being pulled. And by the end, though, he has to side with Cap. And then his entire rogues gallery it comes after him with lethal force. And Punisher finds him injured. So Punisher brings this broken and beaten and bloodied Peter to Steve Rogers, where Steve Rogers immediately pounces on Punisher. Steve hates Punisher, hates Castle. Just can't, you know what I mean? Because Castle's a murderer. And even Castle's like, no, I'm not going to hit you back, not you. Because remember, Frank Castle's a veteran. Frank Castle has the most undue respect for Cap. And that was a really good story beat, in my humble opinion. And thank you so much for tuning in. We rebag, reboard, rebox my entire collection. And I'm also gonna, like, you know, put some of this together and, like, see how much I can get for it. I mean, seriously, why not? I got a random issue of Thunderbolts from the pages of Civil War. And see that spiky head guy? That's Penance. That is Speedball, the kid who helped blow up half of Connecticut, that town in Connecticut that started off this. He's the new warrior, and he survived. And now he's got to. The Thunderbolts are kind of like Marvel's equivalent of a Suicide Squad. You know what I mean? You're a villain, or you have a debt to society. Here we go, Civil War: The Return. Some random, just one issue thing just popped in there. We take Marvel, and he's just time lost. He's not dead yet, but he's like here in the they went and got Marvel to what does it say here in the info page? Let's look at the info page. Whoop, the turkey's done. And Marvel is actually the warden of a prison that they established in the negative zone for everyone they capture. That's Sentry. He's some kind of superhero. I mean, kind of like Marvel Superman alternate in a way, but he's possessed by an evil entity called the Void, and so Sentry becomes a big bad by Siege. Yes. Some Thunderbolts. This is Warren Ellis too, with Mike Diodato Jr. Great art. Warren Ellis was huge, big player at Marvel. And he can't get a job until he atones for his sins against humankind. Ugh. I just want to read his funny books. Seriously. Awesome. Well, we've been talking about comic books. And we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. I mean, look at this wonderful Humberto Ramos art. I love him. He draws the cutest chicks. I think that's Maria Hill. Love this Wolverine. They're trying to cut his head off. And I think someone got some pilfered Titanium Man suits. I love Humberto Ramos' art. I think they captured Wolverine and they put some kind of bomb around his neck. Yep, and see, that's what Wolverine does. He's the best at what he does. And that's what he does. Don't you ever forget it. Thank you so very much. We've been talking about comic books. We're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. We're going to finish this we're going to finish the Civil War run tomorrow, and then we're going to look up some prices and put this together and get what do you think we can get for this Civil War pack? Huh? Let's find out together. Thank you so very much. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. We will see you again tomorrow in those funny pages. Please like and subscribe. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Be part of this. Comment in the comment section. Keep this comic book shop style conversation going. Thank you so very much. We will see you again tomorrow in those funny pages. Ciao. Bye-bye.